The scene opens with a character looking at He Qingyang with a disapproving expression. He Qingyang, sensing the weight of their gaze, suddenly pauses. He's unsure of what's happening, as if something is off. Before he can fully process his thoughts, the woman he's with shoves him away, and he stumbles, falling to the ground and beginning to cough. Struggling to breathe, he wonders aloud, "A dream? Am I dreaming?" But the vividness of the moment makes him question it, as this dream feels startlingly real. As he clutches his head, pain throbs through his mind, and fragments of memories begin to flash before him. Before he can make sense of these images, he feels a chilling sensation against his neck, pulling him back into the moment. He overhears a nearby conversation referring to junior brother in a tone that carries both annoyance and reprimand. That person accuses him of persistently challenging her in a recent fight, even pinning her down. Confused, He Qingyang stammers, "I don't know," only to be met with more frustration from his accuser, who mocks him for his repeated losses and embarrassment. Then another voice cuts through, advising He Qingyang to give up on pursuing senior sister, as she clearly has no interest in him. The accuser mocks him for having lost twice in a row, accusing him of playing dumb out of embarrassment. He Qingyang retorts, "When did I even say I like senior sister?" This only worsens the tension, with the other person calling him shameless. Finally, the woman with sword intervenes, suggesting that there's no point in further argument. She urges her companion to leave, and with that, the two of them hop onto their swords, flying off into the sky and leaving He Qingyang behind. Left alone, He Qingyang is bewildered by what just happened. He can still feel the icy sensation of the sword against his neck and questions the reality of this world. As he sits with his confusion, he's overtaken by a fit of coughing, tasting blood and feeling dizzy. "Ning Yiwan?" he mutters, as a name suddenly pops into his head, triggering the realization that he recognizes this world. Slowly, it dawns on him. He has somehow transmigrated into the world of a game he used to play, Sword Immortal Legend. In the game, Ning Yiwan is the lead disciple of the powerful Liu Shui Peak, and He Qingyang now finds himself in the shoes of a minor NPC within the same sect. Worse still, he recalls that He Qingyang was doomed to a tragic fate in the game's storyline. Following a series of humiliating encounters, He Qingyang would eventually be exposed as a demon and killed by Ning Yiwan in a competition 6 months later. Frustration hits him. Why, of all characters, did he have to end up as the unlucky He Qingyang? Logically, he thinks he should have been transmigrated into the protagonist, Li Xiaoyao. Instead, he is stuck in the body of an NPC he barely paid attention to in the game. He regrets skipping all the NPC dialogues while playing. Because of this, he only remembers a vague outline of the plot and little about the specific details or side characters. Despite this disadvantage, he realizes that he still remembers the major events of the game, giving him a partial god's perspective. With this knowledge, he decides he might have a slim chance to survive and change the course of He Qingyang's fate. As he started down the path toward his assigned dormitory, another familiar voice called out to him, "Junior brother, hey, I've been looking for you everywhere." He Qingyang turned to see Liao Xin approaching, a smile on her face that he knew all too well from the game. Liao Xin had always appeared loyal and friendly towards He Qingyang, but he remembered her true nature. In the game, she was deeply devoted to Qin Shen. Liao Xin had been an expert at feigning kindness toward He Qingyang, only to drain him of his life essence at his lowest point, transferring it to Qin Shen to boost his cultivation. As she reached him, Liao Xin stumbled slightly, feigning a fall. "Junior brother, save me," she cried out, reaching toward him as if expecting him to catch her. But He Qingyang, remembering her deceitful nature, stepped aside just in time, letting her fall to the ground. She landed in the mud with a startled expression, her eyes narrowing in confusion and embarrassment. "Junior brother, why didn't you catch me? My clothes are ruined and my butt hurts." She put on a wounded expression, trying to draw sympathy. He forced a polite smile, keeping his distance. "Senior sister Liao, it wouldn't be proper for a man and woman to touch. I wouldn't want to damage your reputation," he said coolly, knowing full well that this was the exact response a strict and respectful sect disciple might give. He Qingyang nodded and excused himself, hurrying back to his dormitory where he could finally take a moment to think. At the dormitory, he mentally reviewed his options. According to the game's storyline, He Qingyang was currently an outer disciple of Liu Shui Peak, meaning he didn't yet have the authority or the power to leave the Sex Sky Realm barrier without permission. To escape, he'd need a mission token, which disciples could exchange for by completing tasks or gaining favor from elders. His goal was clear: get strong enough to survive any unexpected confrontations and gather the resources or allies needed to leave the Sky Realm as soon as possible. His need to escape was urgent. If he couldn't leave, Ning Yiwan, now at the third stage of the Condensing Veins realm, would likely end his life in half a year. She would continue her rapid climb and might even reach the peak of the Golden Core stage, while he would still be struggling in the Qi refining stage. By then, he would still be a weak NPC against a powerful cultivator. He sighed heavily. If he was going to survive, he had to find a way out of the Sky Realm before the upcoming competition. Having transmigrated into the world of thrilling adventures, he wanted to experience everything to its fullest, no matter the obstacles. In the midst of his thoughts, a voice called out, "Junior brother He." It was a familiar voice. He turned to see it was again senior sister Liao Xin approaching him. She commented, "Junior brother He, senior sister will never like you. I'm not less attractive than senior sister, so why can't it be me?" He Qingyang stood there, momentarily speechless, unable to find the right words. Her sudden approach and familiar greeting had caught him off guard, leaving him lost in thought. Suddenly she locked the door behind her with a soft click, moving towards him, each step deliberate, her gaze intense. He Qingyang's breath caught as she neared him, her gaze still holding that same intensity. "Why don't you let your senior sister comfort your wounded heart? Brother He, you know I like you." He Qingyang found himself caught off guard by her sudden confession. Something strange stirred inside him, a feeling he couldn't quite place. What's going on? Why do I suddenly want to get close to her? He wondered, confused. "Look, your body is also craving me," she murmured, her voice low and teasing. "It's not like that," he protested. But before he could move away, she pinned him down, her gaze intense and unyielding. "Junior brother," she whispered, "I want to." Hello Qingyang was feeling something unfamiliar. Her words lingered in his mind, heightening the tension in the air. "Junior brother, hey, hold me tight," she urged softly. When he was about to grab her, she looked at him with a glimmer of satisfaction, certain she had succeeded. "Just like that, come. I will take you to paradise." Suddenly, He Qingyang pushed her away, breaking the moment and leaving her stunned. She went flying across the room and fell hard to the floor, shock evident on her face. Power is constantly surging to my fingertips, he thought, feeling the unfamiliar energy coursing through him. Is this the world of cultivation? Memories flooded his mind. The original host of his body was no ordinary person, but a demon dog, who had only recently taken human form. As the first stage of the demon race's Starfire realm, he was on par with the foundation establishment stage of human cultivators. "Junior brother He, are you crazy?" she exclaimed, glaring up at him in disbelief. She couldn't reconcile the power she'd just felt with her image of He Qingyang as a weak disciple. How could He Qingyang, a so-called waste who hadn't broken through the first stage in 2 years, possibly hurt me, she wondered, feeling the sting of humiliation. I'm already at the peak of foundation establishment. He Qingyang looked at her with calm eyes, a new clarity evident in his gaze. "Sister Liao," he said coolly, "I already told you outside that I don't want to touch you, for fear of ruining your reputation." He glanced around his room. "Besides, this is my room. I originally closed the door, and you entered without my permission." She was momentarily speechless, stunned by his calmness and newfound confidence. "I have liked you for a long time," he added, his voice firm. Sister Liao's eyes narrowed. "Liked me for a long time, yet you use enchantment spells on me. Sister Liao." She froze, realization dawning on her. How, she thought, fear creeping into her gaze. How did he see through my illusion? But before she could recover, He Qingyang had already reached for the door. She scrambled, trying to compose herself. "What are you doing?" "Wait, my clothes," she gasped, noticing her disheveled appearance. Without another word, he kicked her out, shutting the door behind her. His voice was low and cold as he muttered, "Trying to suck my essence to benefit your lover? Do you take me for the naive fool that the original host was?" Qingyang felt a surge of understanding about his new form. "Although I don't quite remember the original host's backstory, I know one thing. The Demon Dog clan's essence blood is incredibly valuable, making cultivation much faster. No wonder she wanted it. The original host, he recalled, had willingly let himself become a waste, indifferent to cultivation. But now, with this new power coursing through him, Qingyang felt a fierce determination rising. He smirked, a flash of pride glinting in his eyes. Strangling the sin in the cradle, he thought, "I'm really something." At the forest behind the dormitory, safe, no one here. Although there is a barrier, that's a setting from the game. Maybe this world has long changed. If he could escape today, he would definitely flee without looking back. Qingyang's momentum was halted by an invisible barrier. Sigh, the Sky Realm was not a place one could just leave. Someone approved, "Hey Qingyang." "Hello Qingyang," Zheng Qingqing said, "outer disciple of the Liu Shui Peak. Do you want to leave the mountain?" "No, no, no," he replied quickly. "I was just taking a walk. I got tired, so I sat down to rest for a while." "Sister Zheng, did you just return from a mission?" "I received a message from the Chronicles saying that junior brother He actually challenged the lead disciple of Liu Shui Peak, Ning Yiwan." Zheng Qingqing responded with excitement. "This is big news. I had to rush back for a meeting to write about it. The new issue of the Chronicles is going to sell out." This news spread in just half a day. "I received a solo mission to leave the mountain, but on the way I heard this big news. I thought I had plenty of time for the mission, so I decided to return and write the article first. Didn't expect to run into you. You have to give me the inside scoop." Qingyang scratched his head, frustration written across his face. "I hit my head during the day. It's all a misunderstanding," he insisted. Zheng Qingqing, however, leaned closer, curiosity shining in her eyes. "Junior brother He, you don't really like Sister Ning, do you? Everyone outside is saying you're jealous of senior brother Qin, and that's why you're pestering Sister Ning. Is it true?" Qingyang shook his head, clearly flustered. "You don't have to overthink. I see Sister Ning's feelings for senior brother Qin are purely those of fellow disciples. How could I possibly like Sister Ning? Even though we're all part of the Sky Realm sect, there's still a mountain between us and Yanyang Peak. I've hardly even seen Sister Ning." Zheng Qingqing raised her brows, unconvinced. "Eh? But the last time you challenged her, you said you'd defeat her in the Sky Realm competition and make her your wife. I was there, I heard it with my own ears." Qingyang stammered, visibly embarrassed. I was drunk that day, talking nonsense." With a teasing smirk, Zheng Qingqing continued, "Sister Ning is now in the condensing veins stage and will surely reach the golden core stage in half a year. She is a true senior sister. Moreover, she received a title from the sect master and can no longer be called senior sister. She should be addressed as Lord Yuehua." Qingyang sighed in exasperation. "Qingyang, you are just a side NPC, yet you dared to challenge the main storyline NPC and want to marry her? How much fake wine did you drink?" Sensing her chance, Zheng Qingqing leaned in with a grin. "Junior brother. Hey, tell me, do you have a past history with Lord Yuehua? I'll trade 3 low-grade spirit stones for some gossip, okay?" Qingyang could only look away, realizing he'd fallen right into her trap for information. Qingyang suddenly seemed to remember something important. "Senior Sister Zheng, I just remembered that I left some medicinal soup brewing in my dorm. It's probably almost ready, so I'll be going now." Without waiting for a response, he turned and started running. "Junior brother, hey, wait," Zheng Qingqing called after him. "We're neighbors. Wouldn't it be better to go back together?" Qingyang slowed down, realizing there was no easy escape. He chuckled awkwardly. "Heh, I must have really hit my head hard today. Let's go together then." As they walked back, Qingyang couldn't help but mutter to himself, "Why couldn't I control my hand from pressing the spacebar to skip back then?" The regret in his voice hinted at choices he would have preferred to avoid. Zheng Qingqing glanced at him thoughtfully. "Actually, I think junior brother He has pure energy." As long as you train diligently and avoid laziness, in 3 years you'll have a chance to challenge Lord Yuehua. No need to rush this year. He Qingyang sighed, his expression clouded. Whether I can survive the next 6 months is still uncertain. Zheng Qingqing's gaze shifted slightly, her thoughts drifting. The Yuehua Dream Lotus in Lord Yuehua's hand was once a prize awarded by the sect master, she said, almost as if to herself. If junior brother ever has the chance to obtain a rare sword like the Solar Dragon Flame Sword, it would certainly benefit your cultivation. But I don't know where that sword is now. Thank you for the explanation, Senior Sister Zheng, He Qingyang replied quickly, but I really have no feelings for Sister Ning. Lord Yuehua is beyond us, outer disciples. Zheng Qingqing raised an eyebrow, her tone teasing. That's not good. Lord Yuehua is the talk of the Sky Realm, and you have so many conflicts with her. I truly hope you and she can make some progress. Senior sister, please don't tease me, he protested, his cheeks flushing. She gave him a knowing look. By the way, you must have been trying to go down the mountain just now. You aren't tired at all, right? Did I guess correctly? He Qingyang sighed, knowing he'd been caught. I couldn't hide it from senior sister. She looked thoughtful. I remember you haven't taken any mission yet. If you complete 4 tasks, you can get a pass to go down the mountain and play freely. He Qingyang nodded. I was planning to go to the resource pavilion tomorrow to get a mission. But as he spoke, he noticed senior sister Zheng eyeing him curiously. Why is senior sister Zheng looking at me like that? You seem a bit different from before, she observed. You used to always make excuses whenever I persuaded you to take on tasks. Today you're so proactive. Is it? Panic flashed in He Qingyang's mind. Did she realize I'm not the original NPC? If I'm exposed, who knows what kind of punishment awaits me? Will I be struck by lightning? But then, Zheng Qingqing's grin turned playful. Could it be the power of love? She teased. He Qingyang was stunned at Zheng Qingqing's teasing. Quickly recovering, he laughed it off. Oh, I just felt that after being in the Sky Realm for 2 years, the older I get, the more I feel I can't waste time anymore. They arrived at the dormitory area. Zheng Qingqing nodded approvingly. It's good that junior brother He thinks this way. If you recall any old grudges and feelings with Lord Yuehua, remember to tell me first. Okay, he replied, forcing a smile. Zheng chuckled, already envisioning her next article. With my spring and autumn writing style, I'll definitely produce a blockbuster issue of the Chronicles. Spring and autumn style doesn't sound anything positive, He Qingyang thought, feeling slightly wary. Forget it, it's already dark. I'll make plans tomorrow. But suddenly he felt a strange sensation, and before he realized it, his form changed. He looked down in horror. Oh no, I forgot the original host was a demon dog in the early stage of human transformation. I might revert to animal form at night. He tried to speak, but only a pitiful whimper came out. Why does it have to be now? My voice! I can't speak human words either. Ah, this is so unlucky, fear gnawed at him. The Sky Realm is a cultivator's territory. Most of the cultivators hate demons and devils to the bone. If they find out I'm a demon dog, they'll definitely skin me and eat dog meat. His stomach growled, reminding him he hadn't eaten since arriving in this world. So hungry. Just then he heard footsteps behind him. A voice spoke, clear and calm. A spirit beast. He froze. This voice. Oh no, it's Lord Yuehua. Ning Yiwan. She examined him curiously. Are you a spirit beast belonging to one of the disciples? Without a binding charm, you must be a masterless spirit beast. Her gaze swept the dormitory area. This is the disciples' dormitory. If you're masterless, don't trespass here. I'm really done for, He Qingyang thought, despair creeping in. Ning Yiwan's expression softened as she noticed his hungry look and the clothes scattered at the doorway. Which junior brother's dormitory is this? How could they throw clothes at the door? She then knelt down, extending a hand toward him. Are you hungry? Come to my place, I'll give you something to eat. So pitiful. He caught a whiff of her, and his mouth watered. Smells so good. I really want to take a bite. It must be delicious, right? But a new thought dawned on him, shocking him. Ning Yiwan has the Jade Spirit constitution, which naturally attracts demons. If I absorb even a little of her essence, it would greatly benefit my cultivation. He shook his head, horrified. No, I can't. What am I even thinking? Ning Yiwan smiled gently at his hesitation. What's wrong, little puppy? She called me little puppy? Qingyang's mind spun. Is this really the same person? Don't be afraid, she said softly, reaching out to pat his head. Sister will protect you. At the dormitory, Ning Yiwan looked down at the little demon dog that was He Qingyang's current form, a warm smile softening her expression. Master instructed me to deliver something to Uncle on Liu Shui Peak, and I happened to meet you, little puppy. She picked him up, her gaze kind. You look quite pleasing to my eyes. He Qingyang, trapped in his furry form, could only stare helplessly as she gently placed him down. Let me wipe your little paws. My little paws, he thought, feeling both mortified and strangely touched as she took one of his paws in her hand. With delicate care, she wiped away the dirt, her fingers warm and gentle as they smoothed over his fur. He looked up at her with wide eyes, unable to hide his gratitude even as his embarrassment grew. You are such a dirty little puppy, Ning Yiwan murmured with a chuckle. She examined him thoughtfully. I don't recall ever seeing a canine spirit beast in the sky realm. Are you a baby who recently wandered into this place? Qingyang's mind spun. What the heck is going on? Why does Ning Yiwan seem so different from her game setting? And why is she calling me a baby? Suddenly, Ning Yiwan spoke again, her tone reflective. Today, junior brother, he challenged me again, and as expected, he lost. She shook her head with a small smile. He's such a strange person. Everyone says he likes me, but I don't think so. Why is she suddenly talking about me? Qingyang wondered, feeling increasingly flustered as he listened to her musings. She sighed softly. Actually, I don't dislike junior brother He, but never mind, you are just a baby. You wouldn't understand. This is so embarrassing, he thought, desperately wishing he could sink into the ground. My whole body is exposed in front of Ning Yiwan. Qingyang's heart raced as Ning Yiwan spoke in a gentle, teasing tone. I didn't expect you to be shy. You are quite an innocent baby. She smiled warmly, clearly enjoying his discomfort. Tonight, I will let you sleep with me. Sleep with you? His mind reeled at the suggestion, panic setting in. Ah, Ning Yiwan really likes small animals. She often used to catch spirit beasts to sleep with her. What should I do? Do I really have to sleep with her? He couldn't deny that the idea of spending the night so close to her was both tempting and terrifying. Any spirit beast would be reluctant to leave Ning Yiwan's side. Just inhaling a few whiffs of her spirit jade body fragrance could extend their life. If I suddenly run away, wouldn't that be too suspicious? He lay stiff in her arms, trying to control his emotions. As she gently settled down in bed, Qingyang's eyes widened in sudden realization. Don't take it off, he thought desperately as she began removing her outer layers. Phew, luckily she's sleeping in her underwear. That was too dangerous. He let out a quiet, silent sigh of relief, though the situation was still overwhelming. Ning Yiwan smiled and adjusted her position, wrapping her arms around him. Baby, let's go to sleep. Her soft voice and warmth enveloped him, making it difficult for him to think clearly. She pulled him close, her head resting on his tiny body. He felt her warmth against him as she nestled in, and a strange sense of calm washed over her. Devil, how can I possibly sleep? He cursed inwardly, his thoughts clouded by the overwhelming softness and the intoxicating fragrance of her spirit jade body, which only grew stronger as she removed more clothing. It's so soft. After taking off her clothes, the fragrance is even stronger. I really can't hold it in. But in his current form, there was nothing he could do. But now I'm just a little dog who can't speak or do anything. Damn it, I can't do anything. As he lay there, helpless, he glanced at her face, wondering if she had fallen asleep yet. Is she asleep? He wondered, his heart pounding as he tried to remain as still as possible, uncertain about what would happen next. As she drifted deeper into sleep, her grip loosened, and the little dog carefully wriggled out of her embrace. She murmured, "Baby, don't move around," which made the dog's ears perk up. He tilted his head, startled by her voice. Unsure if she was awake or merely dreaming, he stood perfectly still, his little heart racing, waiting to see if she would wake up. He then exclaimed, "My legs are numb," and suggested, "Let's climb out the window. That way there won't be any noise from the door." He seemed to conclude that Lord Yuehua wasn't so scary after all. The next day, at the Resources Pavilion, all eyes followed him as whispers spread, "Isn't that the disciple from Liushi Peak who challenged Lord Yuehua yesterday?" Someone else commented, "I heard he's jealous of senior brother Qin, afraid that Lord Yuehua would run away with him." Another added, "Senior brother Qin is the chief disciple of Liushi Peak. How can he Qingyang compare to him?" There was also talk about how he was obsessed with Lord Yuehua and always causing her trouble. "I wonder if he's sick." He then interrupted, "Stop whispering, I can hear everything." Approaching the elder, he said, "Elder, I'm here to accept a low-level mission." The elder responded, "All the mission plaques for this month have already been assigned." "You are late." Qingyang replied, "Huh? But I'm in a bit of a hurry." The elder noticed his urgency and responded, "Oh, you are in a hurry." He then removed a plaque from his desk and showed it to him. "I have one mission left. The reward is only 2 points. So many disciples don't want to take it. Do you want it?" The elder observed that many disciples were unwilling to accept such a low-reward mission and asked again, "Will you accept it?" The elder continued explaining the requirements. "If you accept it, please register here." He added that the mission time would begin as soon as he left the mountain. "If you don't complete it in a week, you won't be able to accept another mission for 2 months. Determined, he replied, "Then please help me register the mission. I will take it."